Blessings, people. And we are back in the building again. And it is Real Talk Podcast with
Ruinz Ason
and myself, Jflames.
I don't know.
And today, it's a deep one. As usual, as I always say, it is about what have you learned from the pandemic. And that could be, well, basically, we're talking like what have you learned personally.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could be anything, really. Yeah. Just what have you learned?
What was it taught?
Yeah. During this whole time of lockdown, of the pandemic.
It's crazy, yeah.
The countries, how they dealt with it.
Yeah, it's a crazy, yeah.
All this type of stuff that's been going on. You know, what have you personally learned from that? I mean, I posed that question to you first, Ason, man.
I feel like probably the best way I can summarize what this pandemic and what this year has taught, not just me, but every single person, is that it don't matter who you are, whether you are a celebrity, whether you are a religious person, whether you are a government official, whether you are a pauper, whether you are royalty, whether you are a policeman, whether you are a soldier, whether you are a rapper, whether you are a spiritualist, whether you are a fortune teller, it don't matter who you are. Nobody was able to predict what was going to happen this year.
Yeah, man.
And no one was prepared for that.
And no one was exempt.
No one was exempt, bro.
No one was exempt.
You understand?
Yeah.
No one could predict it. No one was prepared, and no one was exempt. So in a roundabout thing, it showed me, and it probably should have showed everybody, that we're all in this together, and nobody don't know nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It don't matter how intelligent you think you are. It don't matter who, it all affected every single 7+ billion people on this planet in the same way. And it shows us just how connected we actually are to each other. Yeah. And no one has the answers. No one. And I know that's a big ego shock for a lot of people. Reality check that.
Man. I was in so many WhatsApp groups and stuff around the time of lockdown, and so many people thought they had the answers, whether they knew. People was telling, I got a link in the government and I can tell you what's going to happen. They're going to deploy the army on the streets. I don't worry, we're only going to be locked down for 3 months. My auntie works for the NHS and she kind of told me everything's going to be sorted out in 3 months' time. Yeah. It's just that
speculation.
Speculation, bro. People didn't want to let go of the whole thing. That I don't know.
That's the thing. It's like one of the lines, like in a song that has always impacted my life, right? It's an Erykah Badu song, and she says, "A man that knows something knows he knows nothing at all." You know, and I heard that from a young kid, man. It always resonated with me that really and truly, why a wise person realizes that, as much as you might know, there's so much you don't know. You understand?
Facts.
Wise people know that. A fool is a man who thinks he knows everything. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a fool, you know. And to me, I feel like it was a breath of fresh air in a way. You know, of course, you know, we're living in crazy times and it's affected a lot of people's mental health and you know, physical health too, financial health, everything in a certain way. But I feel like the way the world was going, something had to have happened.
Yeah. To
stop everything. I call it like 2020 is like Earth's season break. 2020 season break, you know what I mean? Where it's like Earth just says, right, we're going on a season break, man. We need to shut down everything. And
it's true.
You know,
it's true, man.
And you know, the lockdown, I feel, was a time for all of us to sit down with ourselves and sit down through our shit.
100%.
Without the distraction, of going through this mundane life of patterns, this mundane life of, like, you know, You wake up, you go to work, you distract yourself, you do this, you go to a pub, you sleep with this, but like, you know, everyone's got into these patterns, and from young, people don't know how to sit with their own thoughts. They don't know how to sit with themselves and see what's really going through them. And I feel that lockdown was this opportunity to do that.
Yeah, man, and I agree. Like when you said that, it's like a season break for Earth, because it's like if lockdown didn't happen, yeah, and I know a lot of people lost their lives and stuff for the pandemic and that, but if lockdown didn't happen, we would probably be in war with Russia. There was something nuts about to happen on Earth still.
There'll be some kind of war.
Yeah, it was getting to a boiling point where literally there had to be a season break. Like there had to be this one thing on Earth that made everybody have to come together in a way to try and figure out how to sort this out. And
like I said, to remind us of just how connected we are, like we are all one.
Yeah.
Because there's too many, you know, factors in this world, and there's too much of the same narrative push that we're different and we're disconnected. And it just takes one thing like a virus, you know, to make us realize. And this is, you know, virus and sickness has been around since humans were on this earth hundreds of thousands of years ago. So it always comes back. There's always some kind of virus that, you know, it don't matter how many wars you fight, you that war with that virus, that's not gonna be one that you're gonna be able to just eradicate.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That don't go in 6 months.
Yeah. So if we weren't gonna war each other, we were either gonna war a virus, or we were gonna war aliens, bro.
Yeah.
And I always used to say that. I always used to say, it's gonna for human beings to come together and connect and realize we're all connected, and treat each other with kindness and acceptance, and get rid of all this bullshit, you know, this how we treat each other. I always used to say, for that to happen, aliens are gonna have to come here, bro.
Yeah.
And we probably, you know, the human beings will probably be like, right, if you're not an alien, then, you know, you probably won't even see that man as a black man, that man as a white man, that person as a gay person, straight person. You just be like, are you an alien?
Yeah.
No? Okay, you're one of us. So, but, you know, it took a virus to come, which is, in a way, it's an alien.
It is an alien. Yeah.
So, in a way, I was kind of half right, you know. But, you know, I just think, like, where we are right now, it's like, I hope that this is not going to be a thing that separates us more. And I think that that's my only kind of worry, that, you know, we're going to use this pandemic and this virus and stuff to separate each other more, because it hurts, bro. Just not being able to be close to people, or people being afraid to even talk to you because they think if they look you in your eye, they're going to catch a fever, blood. So it's like, for me, my worry is that it's going to disconnect us even more.
Yeah.
You know? But you have to stay positive, innit, man?
You have to stay positive.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I mean, yeah, you was meant to be on tour this year.
Yeah, I was.
I was meant to be in France filming some music videos. I was meant to have a show in Scotland.
Yeah.
Man was meant to be doing a lot of things still. And the pandemic came and put a stop to it. So I mean, you know, we're musicians, so the music industry has been probably hit the hardest.
Yeah, music, the creative industry.
Yeah.
Live, anything live, sports, football, anything where mass people gather.
Yeah, man.
Connection, you know, and we're missing that. We're missing being around people. Yeah. And sometimes it takes for you to take something away, like just being around people, for you to realize how much that was imperative in your life.
Yeah. You know how much times I used to just sit at home and I'll be on like one of those apps like Dice, and I'll be going through and seeing who's performing, and I'll be like, oh, there's Trippie Redd, or there's Etta Bond, and I would never buy tickets, bruv. And now it's like bruv, I'm not gonna take that for granted again, you know.
Nah,
like,
and no one will.
Yeah. I ain't taking that for granted again. Like if I see an artist that's coming down and I want to see them, whether it be in London, Amsterdam, Paris, wherever the hell it is, I'm gonna go buy the ticket and go see them.
Yeah, but we've done that, you know. We've travelled to like Berlin to go and see like the internet perform.
That's true. But I just feel like man didn't do it enough especially when everything has been the carpet's been pulled on the man's feet.
But that's the thing, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing that the pandemic. What has the pandemic taught us? It's taught us, to really, really appreciate the little things.
Yeah.
Human connection, because that's what this is all about. To make this really clear, this is about human connection. What people are upset about, really, yes, it is a financial factor, but deeper than that, it's about not being able to have that pure human connection.
Yes.
And a lot of people, this pandemic has taught them just how important human connection is. We used to take each other for granted. You understand what I'm saying? We used to take each other for granted. Just being able to walk into, a club or a pub or a arena or whatever, and just be around people. It feeds us on a deep spiritual level, just to be around people.
Yeah, definitely.
And to have that taken away has made so many of us realize more than ever just how much we love human connection, whether you think you hate people or not. So you could think you're disconnected from people, but really at a soul level, you can never be disconnected from anybody or anything.
I always say the people that tell me that they hate people, what you should do is you should go to HMP, and just ask them to lock you up.
Solitary confinement.
Yeah, man.
You go mental.
Yeah.
That's why prisons and locking people in cages and confinement has been used as a punishment from the beginning of time, because it's proven that if you don't have human connection for a certain amount of time, your brain turns in on itself, and your brain starts to question its own existence, and it can send you into psychosis. Just not being around other people. That's 100%. How much we need other people. That's how much we need love. That's how much we need connection. That's how much we need to interact. And I feel like this whole year was, in an overt way, but also in a subconscious way, has taught us, man, wow, like, I miss just being with people. Yeah. And we always say this, like, I enjoyed the lockdown.
Yeah, it was a time. It was definitely a time to sit down and reflect. And reflect some relationships you have with people that probably shouldn't be having. Reflect on how you treat people. Reflect on how you treat yourself. Man. There's the lockdown definitely.
We had beautiful weather here in London.
Oh yeah, in London it was really.
I felt like we were blessed. I've never seen anything like that in my life, and I always say this, like, when you've been on the spiritual path for a long time, like, we talk about this a lot, is that I've been going through periods of self-isolating for years, because that is a part of self-growth, that is a part of healing, that is a part of expanding. You need to sort of take yourself away from the world for a bit and away from people and sit down with yourself and work through what you need to go through. So I've been doing that for years. So when this lockdown came, it didn't affect me in the same way, and it didn't affect you in the same way mentally. And I understand that it did affect a lot of people in the same way, because they've never had that time to sit with themselves.
Yeah, never had that time alone.
So so during that time, like, I was doing my bit, obviously digitally. We was doing music sessions for people online, and I was talking to people, online and stuff, and just helping people out. Like, the conversations I was having with people was because I understood that people are suffering mentally, and I'm a bit well versed in that self-isolation. So I was doing my bit in that time, but in the whole lockdown time, I one of the craziest things, and I'm just gonna say it, that I enjoyed, was that I was not going through this self-isolation by myself. The whole world was going through this, and that gave me some sort of peace. I might be selfish, whatever, but it gave me a peace, because I know what self-isolation can do for you if you allow it.
If you allow it, man. If you allow it, if you don't be one of those people that just try to fight against it, you know what I'm saying? Because if you try to fight against it, shit's not good for your mental health, mate. It's not. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit down in that. You got to sit down in it. Even if you're only gonna sit down for a month before you go fight against it, at least sit down in isolation and just gather your thoughts.
I saw people fighting it, bro.
Oh man, yeah.
Sending themselves into further mental entrapment.
Yeah.
Because they were fighting, because they've never had that moment from a child to now where they've been by themselves.
And they try to drag other people into it, because you got to remember, if you want to fight isolation, you need people around you. Yeah. So you can all break this thing.
You say, well, house party, yeah?
Yeah.
House party, oh man.
They want to drag you into their fighting against it. You get me? So when you're there just trying to do your little isolation thing, you know, you might, every now and then you might call someone might call you. You get me? That person that wants to cross your boundaries, like, hey, listen, I'll come to your yard now. You're like, yo, bro, nah, man, you're meant to be chilling, bro. Yeah. This is before we even really knew what was going on. Like, the news was just bombarding us with 300 deaths a day. Like, you get me? Put panic in everyone. No one wanted nobody around them. But man that didn't want to deal with themselves were willing to risk their life. And
they would saying it didn't exist. They were saying it's to do with 5G signal. Like anything just to distract yourself from the fact that, yo, whether you believe in it or not, the earth we are going through something.
We are going through something. I mean, man talking about 5G signal when they got microwaves in their house, blood. You know what a microwave is, fam?
Blood.
And you're using that every day. You know what that's doing to your body?
Man talking about 5G signals, yeah, and they're sleeping in their bed, yeah, with their phones next to their head like this. And they're sleeping like that. Yeah, with their phones. Yeah. Come on, man. Listen, anything to distract us from ourselves, you know? Yeah, and it's not, we don't say this in a way that we blame people. We understand it's programming, and it always comes back to the programming. We understand that there's a program that's running on a lot of people, that is a program that is to distract you from you, distract you from how you feel, distract you from what's really going on. And there's so much vices, there's so much, you know, things that are set up in this world, whether they be through the guise of entertainment or just whatever. There's so many things to distract you. When something real is happening, whether you think it's a conspiracy or not, you can't deny the fact something real is happening.
Yeah.
And you could either really sit down with that and look at your own reactions and your own triggers, or you could run away from it and try to bring other people with you as well.
Yeah.
You know, so we're seeing two types of people in this whole thing. People that are completely engulfed in fear.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right? And people that are completely, how can I say it, in the illusion of everything's fine, man.
Yeah. I've met man.
It's a conspiracy. Nothing's happening.
Yeah,
this is just
man, a woman
ploy.
that I've spoken to, and I've been like, listen, do you believe in this thing, like? And they're like, yeah, I do, but I just told myself it don't exist. It's the only way I can get through my day.
Yeah.
You know what? I just gotta be like, cool.
But that's the program.
Yeah.
That's the program that's running. Yeah. Never able to deal with anything real. Always attracted to this addiction to distraction.
Yeah.
You know, this program is one of addiction. It's one of escapism. It's either most people are either running two programs, right?
Yeah.
Or they're running the two programs at the same time. Either a program of escapism or a program of coping.
Coping, man. Yeah.
So you either, like, you know, do anything you can, ingest anything you can to cope with what's going on, or you do anything you can to escape it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess in the next, it's been 6 months now. So the next 3 months be a new wave of COVID babies being born.
Hey, man. And again, man,
like this, for the COVID babies on the way.
COVID babies, man. Like, you know, and it's mad. And I think this is just the time, like, you know, because when we was younger, we used to do this. We used to go. My coping or escapism mechanism was flying away to different countries all the time. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh man, you know, because like I said, you know, this is for some people, this pandemic has propelled them into a new way of looking at the world, and seeing things and looking at themselves, and it's unlocked them. It's woken them up to certain things and made them change certain things in their life, you know, and it's put them on a new level, you know, and that's great. But for some of us that have kind of been on that journey for a long time, it was harder when it was just you going through it. When it was just me going through it, I thought I was going mental. I thought I was going mad.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? I thought I was alone in this thing.
Yeah.
You know, understand what I'm saying? So it's like some of us have been prepared for this kind of situation. You understand? So it has affected us deeply. And I feel like even us just doing this real talk podcast is helping many people, because although this podcast triggers the fuck out of people, and we know it does, that's why we do it.
Of course.
Because we know that triggering is what's going to help people to really, you know, blossom the seeds that have been planted, and then maybe they're, you know, subconscious to certain things.
You wanted to call the podcast like Triggercast or something like it.
Did I?
I saw you wanted to call it like Triggered, but with Ruinz Ason Jflames.
Yeah, Triggered. Yeah.
And I was like, they kind of hijacked the word triggered now. It means something totally different.
Was it like woke or something like that?
Nah, it's something like to do with like if you talk against feminism.
Yeah.
It's just they've taken the word triggered, but when we say triggered, we're talking about the original form of triggered, which is like
which is being inspired in lower vibration. Listen, I'm a trigger. I am one of the biggest triggers there are. You know, not because I choose to be. I don't wake up in the morning and I'm gonna trigger some people. It's just naturally who I am.
Yeah.
Because on the flip side of it, on a higher vibrational level, I'm an inspirer. So I either inspire you or trigger you, but at the end of the day, it's gonna get the same. It's gonna get the same results. Yeah. It just depends on how resistant the person interacting with me is.
Exactly. How resistant are you to the change, man?
And you know, man's just unapologetic now. Like man,
100.
just bruv. I know what we're doing, and the intention is pure. The intention is to wake people up to who they are, and to like self-empowerment and take responsibility for your shit.
Yeah, we have these conversations every day, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I never chose this. Well, probably did, but
what, subconsciously?
It is what it is, you know.
I always say that we're like them two brothers in the Matrix, the ones that were born without the thing on their head.
Yes.
It was born in Zion, bruv.
Yes, and they can program the Matrix. They can read it.
That man can read screens, bro.
Yeah, we're definitely
that's like us, bro.
Because our mum was the programmer of the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. So,
she installed us with the right programs, the right, you know,
born woke.
Coding.
We're born woke, bro.
Yeah,
the real woke before it was hijacked by whoever the fuck has woke that. I don't even know what that shit means anymore, bro. Yeah, so you know what's crazy? Yeah, it's so many words, and expressions from like 5-6 years ago is now movements, bruv.
Yeah.
Do you remember woke? What that meant before? It meant that your eyes were just awake. Your eyes was awake, and you know what I'm saying. You realize that there's deeper. Yeah,
using light.
Yeah, there's deeper. There's deeper to what you see out there. There's always another level of what is put in front of you. Now it's that woke. I don't even know, but that's the whole culture of woke, bro.
But you know what? But saying that though, man, listen. But saying that though,
yeah,
I understand that. Listen, like, I think it's good that things like woke and man, I'm feeling the energy or the universe, and I feel like it's good that these terminologies, you can hear them on Love Island.
Yeah. That does crack me up.
I think it's good because there was once upon a time when we were speaking like this, where people just didn't understand, didn't get it.
I'll tell you one thing that pissed me off though, but when the name ISIS got hijacked, fam.
Well, yeah. But
that's a beautiful.
Well,
ISIS from Egypt
I mean, I've got a tattoo
of ISIS on you.
Yes, Isis, the Egyptian goddess. Yeah. Before this thing gets flagged up, yeah. But to say that as well, Isis, the Egyptian goddess, isn't her actual original name. Her original name is Aset. Isis is the Greek names. You know when
it's translation, isn't it?
Yeah, when the Greeks conquered Egypt, right? They changed all the names. So Egypt's name wasn't even Egypt. It was Kemet.
Yeah.
You understand? So all of these names, these are Greek names. So it don't let them have Isis. Aset, bro.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, man. What has the pandemic taught us? It's taught us a lot. So what about you though? What do you say is the most deepest / painful realization that you've had in the last 6 months of this pandemic? Not maybe.
Yeah, I don't really have anything.
Not painful, but something that was uncomfortable.
I don't
A
really,
realization for you.
I mean, like before the pandemic, I went on a holiday by myself. I went to Portugal. It was the first time I ever holidayed by myself. I went 2 weeks before the lockdown, and I was leading up to the pandemic. I was spending a lot of time alone, bruv. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was spending a lot of time within my own company, getting to know myself better, understanding things that I've been through, understanding the way I've treated some people, understanding the way I've treated myself, just kind of overcoming certain things. And then when enter into the lockdown, I'd say like, I'll be honest with you, man. The only thing I was kind of missing was flying out, bro.
Yeah.
that was the only thing that was.
What about in terms of like
bro.
People, friends, and stuff, like, you know, like people around you? Like, what have you, you know? What did you learn from the pandemic with your relationships with people?
I definitely learned that I got quite a few friends and stuff like that. That was, I mean, I don't want to say not the people they said they were.
Nah, but listen, say how it is, man. This is real talk, and I feel like you're holding back a bit.
No, not even. Nah, it's real talk. It's always real talk. But I don't want to say the word they were not the people they said they were. But I realized that a lot of strengths I saw in people, it actually wasn't there. It was a facade. So a lot of strengths of people that you may know who might be, you know, like strong-willed and strong-minded.
That perception.
Yeah, that perception of that. When this thing lick where I see some people curl up in a ball, innit? And I understand that. I don't want to judge them and be like that. But it's just some people, it was like a shock. It was like, oh my days, you. Like, you're the guru. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're the one that, you're making YouTube videos that talking about your, you know what I'm saying? You're woke. Yeah. You get me? And what? You're here spreading fear, and you're talking about 5G signals and shit. Like, it's like, whoa, bruv. It's like, yeah, that was a bit of a shock. But personally, with me, man, listen, man, I was already in isolation, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? I was already, before this thing hit, I was already in isolation, because I was like, listen, in my head, I have a view of who I want to be, and I need to work on being that person now, rather than just seeing that person as a future me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I need to work on that. I need to work on my judgment. I need to work on sometimes my attitude towards people. I need to work on loving myself more. I need to do that. So I really put myself in isolation. I stopped going clubs and stopped hanging around people I shouldn't be hanging around with. I already did that. Do you know what I'm saying?
That were on the same trajectory as you. Yeah. And don't, through their actions and their behavior, have shown you that they don't want the best you for you.
Yep.
Because they would rather, you know, sort of have you in the same position as them. You know, they don't want to be left behind. And, you know, sometimes it can seem from the outside in that, you know, because you've taken yourself and you isolated yourself away, that, like, you know, you think you're sort of better or anything. But sometimes we need to be able to say, hey man, listen, I'm going this way and you're going that way, and this is who I want to be. And it's no disrespect to you, but if you love me, you're gonna let me go this way. Man,
you gotta let me
but
go.
If you want to come with me, then we can come together. But I'm letting go of who I was before. And if you want, you know, with your own free will, if you want to remain doing the same things in the same patterns and the same behaviors and the same energy, then I can't help you no more.
Yeah.
But I'm going towards healing, and I'm going towards the darkness. And I've had to do that with people too, which is being uncomfortable. But yo, I love you, but I love me more.
Yeah, that's it, man. And I want to say, you know, one of the things that made lockdown go smooth, was Netflix. Big up Netflix. I'm throwing Netflix up on the screen. Boom.
Yeah, but
big up Netflix.
But with Netflix, man, there's only so much damn Netflix you could watch, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. Now Netflix had a good 7 to 8 week run still. They had a good 7 to 8 week run before man kind of just went through every Tiger King, yeah. Hey, Tiger King held man down throughout the lockdown. You get me?
But I say for me, what really helped me in the lockdown was, like I said, the weather, but being out in the garden, you know, and having and you know, and understand some people when they were in the lockdown, they live in apartments and stuff, and they didn't have that garden, so they wasn't cooped up in the house a lot, you know, and I have sympathy for those people that, you know, because that can really feel like you're in a prison.
Yeah.
So I felt really blessed and really appreciated that. Man, we had a beautiful garden outside that we can just go and sit down in, and that became our living room. We spent,
literally,
you know, and it made it just taught man about just appreciating what you have, appreciating how blessed you are. This pandemic has taught man, you know, that man's blessed to have life, and man's blessed to have health, because right now, health is worth more than wealth. Let's be real.
We're seeing it now.
Because listen, whoever thought there would be a time in the world where the government would pay you to stay at home?
Yeah, you would have thought.
Nobody would have thought that, bro. The government paid you for 4 months.
No amount of money in this world is protecting you from what they say is out there, mate.
Exactly.
All type of rich people are dropping down from this thing here.
And like our mum always used to say to us, health is wealth.
Yep, it is.
Health is the number one most important thing you can have in this life. And if this pandemic hasn't taught you that, or anyone in this world, that your health is is utmost importance, then you've learned nothing.
Trust me, man. Immune system, keeping your immune system up. Yeah. That's what everyone's been talking about. That's what you've been seeing. Yeah. I tell you one thing that did affect me when during the lockdown, not being able to go gym, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was tough.
Gym is more than just working out to me and fitness, man. Gym is like a place where I go and I listen to music. I listen to new music. I listen to new albums. I listen to podcasts. I listen to beats that I've made previously, and I write the lyrics in my head while writing my notepad. Like, gym for me, bruv, is like my fucking sanctuary, bruv. You know what I'm saying? So when that was taken away, obviously you could work out in your living room, you could work out in the park, but it just wasn't the same, innit, bruv?
Yeah,
you know?
that was your ritual.
Yeah, that was my ritual. So when they did eventually bring that back, I know so many people appreciated when gym came back. I know that was a big thing that they did, and happy they brought that back, and they didn't leave it until like October or something. So yeah, man. And
another thing as well, I feel like what we learned as well through the pandemic is that the world flourished, didn't it? Nature. Oh, the birds were singing louder than ever.
Yep.
And it's like the world. I heard that dolphins came back into the Italian rivers, bro.
But you hear about Edinburgh where the sheep took over the town. I saw a video of the sheep.
Bro, you know what I mean?
The people were filming the sheep on road.
Yeah. And it's crazy because there's that saying, right? That quote that if you was to take all animals off of the earth and take all nature off of the earth would die. But if you used to take all humans off of the earth will flourish.
100%.
So it's like, who's the virus?
Humans ain't off this earth.
Are humans the virus?
Listen, man, you know my thoughts on this already, bro. We're gonna have to touch on this on season 2, bro. Humans ain't on this earth, bro. We're astral travelers, bro. We're space travelers, bro. We've been traveling from planet to planet to planet. Last planet we was almost Mars, bro. We blew that shit the fuck up. Looks like a nuclear bomb went off on that motherfucker. That's why they're trying to get there now and dig underground and see if they can find water. They know that's where we came from, innit? But that's a whole nother subject.
What you saying? But you know what? I think I'm gonna. So, yeah, we touched on a lot. But I just want to say this on a spiritual level. I want to leave out with this: the real virus.
You got to throw up a screen,
of
bro.
Of course, I'm going to throw up a screen. The real virus is fear.
Yeah,
fear is the real virus. You understand? Fear is how we're controlled. Fear is how we're manipulated, and the fear is how we stay disconnected.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in the terms of that there isn't real sickness. At the end of the day, the common cold conquered civilizations.
Still hasn't been cured.
The common cold conquered the Aborigines in Australia and America. You understand? So sickness has always been there. But the real sickness is fear. It lives in the mind. And it's passed on from person to person to person. And that's really what we're battling. We're battling fear. We're battling the lack of education. We're battling these things that are unseen, and we can't do this alone.
Nah.
And we have to do this together, and we have to connect with each other. So, like you said, I was supposed to be on tour. So, and I'm not, but I know it's gonna come.
Yeah.
So I'm not fearful of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So for that, I want to put up I want to put up a screen of us performing live. Boom. Because that's gonna come back.
Yeah, you remember that, bro?
Of course.
Steve.
No fear.
No fear,
we're gonna
man.
be able to push this message not only just through talking on this Real Talk podcast, but through the music. And when we hit the stage back again, it's gonna be powerful, and we're gonna be able to take the place and be able to connect the people even more and even more.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's what
man.
we learned during the lockdown, man.
That's what we learned during the lockdown, man.
Yeah.
And like, comment, subscribe, leave in the comments what you learned during the lockdown as well, man. We like to read that and stuff like that.
Fear
man.
is in the mind.
It is, man. And
Love is in the heart.
Thank you to everyone.
Move
that's
from
been
your
watching.
mind to your heart.
Yeah, man. Blessings, everyone that's been watching. This is Real Talk podcast with
Ason Ruinz.
and Jflames. Blessings.
Blessings and love.